just seeing this? Okay, take one. What I wanted to do this afternoon was just a quick little video in my everyday makeup routine. I didn't put on any makeup today because I've been working from home, but if I'm leaving the house and going to the office or just have a day out planned, then this is typically the makeup that I'll do each morning. It only takes me about 10-15 minutes normally.
You're joking.
Lies, lies, and more lies. I don't trust her. I don't think she's a good person.
We're talking you guys through it and just giving away a couple tricks, tips that I have amassed over the years. So I have my makeup here, get yourselves comfortable, and we are going to dive right into it. So starting off, and it is very hot in here, we're going to just be putting on some primer. A few different ones that I use. I talked about this in another video. This is the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Hue Drops. That's a mouthful. I got this at the airport on a work trip and I really love it. I should probably take my rings off. Okay, so you'll see when I pump this out, got a cut on my hand, it's very annoying. It is just like the original version that they did of this, except it is tinted. It has a tint and a subtle glow to it, and it really is just beautiful. I kind of tap that around like my bronzer placement areas, so along the cheeks, a bit on the forehead, and then whatever's left I'll just spread around everywhere. It, again, smells quite nice, just like the other one. I would say the other one probably smells a bit more like watermelon. This one sort of just smells kind of like tan a little bit, but in a good way. It's not that gross fake tan smell. I just realized that I'm doing this without a mirror, so yeah. That is why we need a mirror.
No, I don't even know why she would say that.
Awesome. So, she's back. Next thing that we're gonna do, Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. This was a bit of a I'm just gonna buy it kind of spend recently, but I do have to say it is gorgeous. It smells a bit like lemons, like a lemon meringue almost. I think that probably is given the ingredients that are in it, so this is very, I don't know, it just feels like liquid gold on the face, and I don't know if that's just because it was expensive, but it definitely feels like it's not just preparing the skin but nourishing it at the same time. And I found that it has a bit of a brightening property, so I like to use it under the eyes, the middle of the forehead here, just the areas that we normally would go in and highlight. If I've got a bit of redness or the skin's just feeling a bit low, then I will use it on those areas as well, just to help give it some love. That's pretty much all I would do for priming. The only other step that I might do is the Stella one step correct. The stuff's really cool. You can see it's got, this is grubby because I've had it forever. It's got 3 different tones in it, and so these are all your corrector shades combined into one, and you can kind of see right there. It's got a peach, a green, and yeah, it just kind of gives, it's connecting slay. It gives a nice, even base for which to then start on. The texture of it reminds me a bit of Benefit Poreless Primer, so it just helps to flatten everything out a little bit. And that's priming done. Next, we are going to start correcting. That was way too much. This is the Anastasia eye primer. It's very white, so I definitely shouldn't have put that much on my hand, but what I'll do with this, I just take a concealer brush, this is the Morphe one with a nice fat tip. And let me grab my mirror. And what we are going to do with this is corner of the eye, inner corner of the eye, and I like to use this before highlighting because what you'll see in a second is I like to highlight and also contour the whole face with eyeshadows. I use the neutral eyeshadow palette to go in and do all of that. And you can pick up, you know, a decent one from any brand. Morphe's got them, Sigma. I mean, if it was made of money, it would be Natasha Denona. Every time I see an ad for one of her palettes, I'm creaming. Like, they look so good.
With those I don't need to know about that. You keep that to yourself.
Really want to get into those, but maybe for Christmas. As you can see, just carving out the nose a tiny bit with that, and then taking it, you know, underneath the eye to give it some lift. And then whatever's left on there, I'll go under the brow, just over the brow, center of the forehead, and then just like these high points along here. And then whatever's left you can take on the chin or just around the mouth. This is very white, like I said, so just want to be careful with the placement. These are so fun and quite new to my kit, but we have the Maybelline Eraser, the color correcting concealer from the Instant Age Rewind line, and I have a green and a peach. I was looking for an orange one when I went to like the pharmacy last, but unfortunately they didn't have one. I really need to get one for my drag makeup because it's great for covering the 5 o'clock shadow. For any kind of blue tones, which if you've got darker facial hair, and most men do, when you shave it will create a blue shadow, and so by using a peach or an orange is going to correct the blue when we think about color theory and things like that. And then any pinky shade like this is going to brighten, so it's great for dark circles. We've already used that Anastasia primer under here. We're just gonna take a little bit of this, mainly on the outer, to give a bit of lift to the cheekbones. And then I just like to take a bit on the nose, a bit under the lip here. Sometimes I get a bit dark just on my chin, and then just in the middle of the forehead there. To blend this, I like to just rub some out on the back of my hand. Take that same concealer brush. Use the same brush for everything. And just blend that out. The great thing about these corrector shades is they are going to meld very flawlessly into the skin, provided you have one that's not too pigmented and with the right blending. I remember back, you know, circa 2016 when everyone was using color corrector without really knowing what it did. And I remember the girls were using like orange house paint on their faces. I'm like,
a secret, can you keep it straight? This one you say, better look it.
honey, you don't need to be doing all of that.
Don't do it.
It was wild. Now that that's all done, we're gonna go in with the contour. I like to use the Fenty. I've also got her bronzer here. That's what I'm using for my mirror. So, because I'm the only one who uses this, I'm happy to just take it straight on the face. But I start with a little, kind of like a dot or like a small line right here. So you can see it's where the hollow part of my cheek is, and by putting it here, it's gonna create a bit more of a sullen look, which it's not that like that's what I'm trying to achieve, but I reckon it just makes the rest of the cheekbone look more pronounced when I do it this way.
Today we're going to be talking about buccal fat.
Just to create a bit more of a round and forwarded shape. And with the nose contour, because our nose is, you know, quite small in comparison to the rest of our face, you do still want to leave that line that we've put down quite defined, because otherwise it's just gonna look muddy. Next, we're going to take, this is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I think this one is a bit too warm for me, but for what I like to use it for, that's actually really good. Go under the eye, and I typically just do kind of a few dots like that, a little bit right here, a little bit on the tip of the nose, and then just there. And then if I have any spots that I can see around the face, we'll just tap a little bit extra on there, like that. Taking that same concealer brush and a little bit on the back of the hand, we are going to now blend that in. And with your concealer placement, like I was talking about with our blending technique before, if you're trying to cover up a spot, you just want to pat repeatedly, because that's going to cover the spot, but also not disperse the product so much as that we are losing the pigment, because that's the whole purpose of, you know, concealing, is we're covering it up. So, and like I said, this one is a bit warm for me, but I mean, it is summer, so we do got a bit of a tan one. And I don't have dark circles, but I do get these blue, I get these veins under my eyes. Then whatever's left on the brush, we can do a little bit further defining, highlighting, and yeah, like I said, just any areas where you want to conceal. So I get a bit of redness on the neck. Then we're just gonna do that. You can also use that corrector shade, but I've forgotten anyway. Next, this is my foundation. I don't use a foundation. I like to use this, which is the Effaclar Unifont from La Roche-Posay. And this one is just wow. Like, it's an amazing product, a tinted moisturizer. And we are mixing that with the NARS Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturizer. Just because this one, it does have a tint, but it doesn't have a lot of coverage. NARS one just gives me that extra boost that I'm looking for, is because with this one, it's a funny story. They do have this as just a regular moisturizer, and their Effaclar system is amazing. It helps to support your skin's microbiome. It's great if you have acne prone or problem skin. It is good for oil control and blemishes, and so I was trying to find that, and all their products are in French because it's a French brand. I picked up a tinted one without realizing it was tinted, and then when I got home I was like, what the hell is going on? But I fell in love with it because it just works so beautifully as a really light and just clean looking foundation. And I typically will end my foundation just here because it always looks a bit weird over facial hair, you know? This is what we're doing, and then we take it down the neck. We're just tapping, we're not really dragging it out. Maybe just a little bit around here. Because again, if you've got stubble, if you've got facial hair, it's gonna cling to it, and so I see this with my sunscreen as well, and it grosses me out. But anyway, you've got, yeah, facial hair, you might just want to give it a bit of a buff so it's not sticking. We're gonna use this now on my bronzing brush, and I just do a swirl, tap it out a little bit, and I like to use it this way to first. We're using the very tip of the brush. Product is on there to sculpt, and we're doing it on the eye as well. And then with whatever's left on that, we just soften it, bring it a bit more into the face just to give us some bronziness, a bit of tan. And I do kind of go to town with this. I love bronzer, I love blushes. They just bring life back into the face, and it's really cute. Now, I'm gonna show you guys my Takes 2 Looks Like 20 eye look. That's what I've decided to name it. So, this is awesome for when you're in a rush, which I always am. Now you've woken up, and it's like, shit, I'm gonna be out the door right now. Well then, this is what we're gonna do. I have here, and I got this as a tester, and I think like a beauty loop bag, like a Mecca beauty loop bag, but I really love it. It's Laura Mercier, and it's called the Caviar Eye Stick. Fancy. And it's cute. It's like a pink sort of champagne-y colour, like a champagne-y, goldy colour, I don't know. And we're gonna take this just above the crease of the eye, and you can bring it out a little, so just above. I'm brought that in a little bit too far, but it'll be fine. And then just out like that. If you've got hooded eyes, it's always better to go just above the crease, as this will help to just achieve a more flattering look for that eye shape. Next, we have this Revolution pencil, which has done me well, as you can see, and it's just a darker brown sort of shade. And what we did with this, starting from kind of where the middle of my eye is, I'm gonna take that out to the outer corner, and then following the line of your lower lash line, we're going to bring it out. And the beauty of this is you can be a bit messy with it because we're going to go in and blend this straight afterwards. Out to the edge, creating that wing. Taking some bronzer, just on a small blending brush, we're going to slowly start blending this out. Starting with that lighter shade that we did with the eye crayon. And this has a bit of glitter in it too. The caviar stick, not the Fenty, blending out that wing. And you just want to be a little bit more precise with this part, so again, tapping motions are going to be better. We can drag it out a little bit just to create some lift, but then once you've done that, kind of just tap it all along the eye like. And there we go. It's created some dimension. If you wanted to take it a little bit the extra mile, I like to use a more tapered brush like this. I have this Chi Chi palette, which is awesome for on the go because, you know, it's nice and little, so you can fit it in your purse or your bag. And I'm just gonna mix these two shades here together to create a slightly darker shade than our bronzer. Because it's tapered, it's gonna be better for getting into the corner just there. In the outer third, just take that bigger brush once again, feather out into the bronzer that we did before to create a nice lift. Okay, quite beautiful. Now we're pretty much done.
Eyes.
From here I would really just do brows, lashes, and then maybe some highlighter. For under the eyes, as I was saying before, I like to use a eyeshadow palette, and ignore how messy this is, but this one is from Jeffree Star. And as you can see, all of these neutral shades, from very light to very dark and in different tones, different hues. So this is the kind of palette, and you know, Morphe's got a few great ones like this as well. I just really like the formula of Jeffree shadows, and I've had this palette forever. What we're gonna do is take some of the lighter shades in a bit more of a pinky tone and just tap under your eye like that. And I like to use the edge of the brush to just clean this up a little bit if it's gone a bit too far down. And then to highlight on the nose and around the nose, the forehead, I use just a bit of a more yellow or banana shade. And I love to use eyeshadows because they're going to give you great pigment, and you can also more closely trying to make it look natural. I like to look at the tone of my skin that is there. If it's something that you're trying to correct, then of course that's a bit of a different story. But work with how your skin behaves. You're going to have different areas of your skin where it's a slightly different color. So if you just build on top of that, you know, I don't know if I've explained that very well. I guess what I'm trying to say is under the brow, our skin is more yellowy. So you want to use a bone shade, like a bone or an ivory under the eyes. We have corrected, but the skin around the eyes can get quite pink, and so you want to use a more pink. And on the lid as well, I like to use a pink. And so just to open the eyes back up again, take a bit of lighter shade. And I use this brush for the whole highlighting process. And as I said, that's pretty much it. The last thing that we would do is brows, and I love to use these labels rubbed off. I think this is Revlon, or it may be Maybelline. Maybe it's Maybelline. It's their micro tip pencil. So it's great for eyebrows, and it's great for eyebrows because you can create brush strokes. So just with a light hand, I like to start at the base to create some brush, like feather strokes to mimic hairs. And then after that, we'll go from the bottom of the brow to the outer to create the shape that I want. And follow your natural brow, follow your face, contour for your face, do your eye makeup for your face, do what is flattering for you. The brows particularly important because they frame the face, and something I like to do just to make sure my brows are sitting right, and I probably look a bit crazy doing, you know, the Kubrick stare up in here. If you tilt your head down and look into your mirror, then tilt your head back, you can kind of just see a bit easier where your brow may be uneven, too high or too low on one side, or the shape not sitting how you want to. So just do a quick, and this is great to just check on all areas of the face, you know, because you're going to be letting light hit in different spots. Just seeing the shapes that you've created, and it just helps you better understand, I guess, what you're trying to work on. Another reason why I love these pencils is, for lack of a better word, they're great at cuntifying eyes. So you just take the tip of it, and this one is a bit darker than the one I would normally use, but just to create that little feline action in the tear duct. See, it's like nice and thin, and it's subtle. And little things like this is what's going to make your makeup just kind of like go next level, and it takes 0 time. I'm sorry, this dumb whore has the nerve to say it takes 0 time when this video is 15 minutes long and I'm not even finished editing it yet. Are you joking?
Are you serious to me right now?
And then another thing I'll do, which is really nice if you're in a rush, we all struggle with liquid eyeliner, even me. So, shadow, and just looking straight ahead to see where your lashes are. And we can work off that pencil line that we did before. So another great benefit of the 2 minutes but looks like 20. You want to talk to me about 2 fucking minutes? Build up a wing as you see fit. So I think that's looking quite nice. Taking that tapered brush again to just extend it out a little bit. Yeah, I think that's it. I think we done it. I think we done it, girls. So lastly, we're gonna do some blush. I have this one from Bobbi Brown. I actually stole this from my mum, God knows how long ago, years ago. On the high points, of the cheek. I like the shade. It is pinky, but it's also earthy, like a clay, a terracotta sort of colour, so looks. And I love to take a blush on the forehead,
oh my God,
a little bit on the nose as well. Something which is a bit niche, but I think it's really cute, is sometimes I will do my blush or my bronzer looking like I've got a sunglasses tan. You know, what's life without a bit of whimsy? And if you really want that, back from Greece, just been on the beach kind of vibe, this is gonna take it there, best to believe. So I just think it looks cute. Okay girls, we have made it to the end.
Lies.
We are on to our final steps. Thankfully the sun's come back. Now, mascara, and I like to use the Colossal. Now something about me, something about you is you don't know when to stop. This is gonna sound like a brag, but it's just the truth. I am blessed with gorgeous eyelashes, courtesy of my mother. So thank you, Mum. Everybody always comments on it. I like to wipe off that brush. When I buy a new mascara, I will tip half the bottle out because I'm not doing with all that. And you need to replace them every like 4 months, 6 months.
It's been 84 years.
I don't know. I will tip half the bottle out when I buy a new mascara. Taking what is left on that brush, and a trick that I saw in, I think it was a Lisa Eldridge video, is working your mascara into the lashes, into the roots. So, I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing, but we're almost trying to like build up the product at the base, at the root of the lashes, and then feathering it out. And with my lashes, I like to start by doing that, and then the outer, and we do the bottom, and then the top carefully, just so that they've got a full coat. And you can see, I don't know how much of a difference that has made, but that's how I will do my lashes. And sometimes I'll do the bottom, but sometimes you end up looking like a marionette doll as well. Now finally, two little glitter palettes that I like to use. I have this one from my friend Carla, so shout out Carla. And what I will do with this is, and look at how pretty. Stella. It's got a nice brown with a bit of shimmer to it. Just this dark brown in the middle, which I haven't really used yet. You could do the whole eye with this, really. I don't know if I like that, but if I was in a pinch, it would work. I love the two little glittery shades that we have in here. So I'll take that one on a very fine flat brush, tap off just the excess, and on the tear duct. I love a good tear duct highlight, especially with that little feline business that we got going on. Going back to this Chi Chi palette from before, I like to mix this gold with this more gun metal just on the finger, tapping into the eyelid. And then you can take a bit more of that gold along the brow bone. And there we go. That is the eyes done. Looking beautiful, if I do say so myself. This is another little bronzer that Carla gave me. So Carla, thank you. You've like hashtag sponsored.
This is damage to the front end of your car.
This Kit Loose bronzer, where this is so messy though. Like I almost dropped this shit all over my floor. I'm so scared of this thing.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, Nicole.
What?
Oh my god, I'm so scared of this thing.
And you can see it is a very tan color. Gorgeous glitter to it, so I'm just dipping into the lid and then I just like to tap that off because this really takes it there, but I only like a little bit just along the cheek. And I don't know if you guys can see that. This is the Mediterranean dream. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Mediterranean dream. Well, see, that was too much. Like that. And then drag that out. Is this gonna ruin it? It'll be fine. Let's just add more. A little bit on the nose, and I also like to just bring some into the eye. And then on the cheek, a classic NARS orgasm. We're gonna open that up. Oh, how gorgeous. And I love this one because it does have a little mirror in it. And just on the high point of the cheek, so above where we put our blush. And I like to take some just on the forehead as well, and then a little bit on the nose. Throw it everywhere, you know, just throw shit around. Shit all over these walls, right?
Yeah, then I'ma shit on these walls, Ray.
Guys and girls, I think we are done. Lips, I almost forgot. Oh my gosh. Do you know who didn't forget? Me. Now, guys, I know I should be asleep right now, and I know I need to clean my mirror, but it's because I care about you. And I have no self-control whatsoever. So I recently went home to Wellington to visit my baby sister, shout out Jessica. I also saw my mother. We went to this really fun fashion event in Wellington City. Wow, for those of you in the know. Yeah, me and mum did a bit of shopping because of course we did. And I picked up this. It is the Benetint from Benefit. So this is just a lip stain. You can also use it on the cheeks. I really just use it on the lips, and I think this is in the original shade. There's a really fun story behind this product. It's a liquid, so just be careful when you're opening it, but I like to just wipe off what's on the tip there. This is non-drying, and I really just like to do the perimeter of my lip, and then taking it that way, so you can see I've got that angle. We almost do a bit of a lip liner, and this is how I line my lip. And again, taking that corner, bringing it up, And then just be careful if you're gonna like so you don't move it around too much, because we want to maintain that shape. And since this is a stain, we just leave that on for a minute. So like I was gonna say, the story behind this is really fun and just, I love makeup history. Back in the 1920s, club dancers used to paint their nipples.
Big boobs.
And they would use a product akin to this, and this is what has inspired the Benetint, on their lips, their cheeks, but also their nipples. Because back in the 20s, a lot of dance clubs, or a lot of speakeasies as they were called, or underground clubs, because it was during the Prohibition era, wouldn't have had electricity, and so we're using the limelight. And the term limelight comes from a chemical reaction that happens when lime is used to produce a fluorescent glow, and this is what they used to use in stage and film before the advent of electricity. But because it was still quite dim, in order to make the girls more pronounced on stage, a lot of dancers would paint their nipples. So,
I need your lipstick on my pussy lips.
fun little bit of history for you guys. Kind of just blot that, and you can see it doesn't really transfer, but... And this is a bit too pink. I usually do more of a brown, but I can't find that pencil at the moment. So I think what we're gonna do, just taking that eye pencil, and this looks a bit crazy right now, but we are gonna blend it. I've got a Fenty concealer here that a friend gave to me way back when. It's very light, but I like to just create a bit of a 90s lip action. And that's also just helped to tone it down a little bit, I think. I don't really like a gloss for day to day. I prefer a balm, trusty Bliss sticks, and we're just going to take that on the lip now. And then we've gone just a bit out of our line here. Just to clean that up, is taking a concealer brush from earlier. RCMA, I've had this for too long. I should have replaced it by now. It's like a step above baby powder, but a step below, you know, like Laura Mercier. Baby powder ain't doing it for you. Get onto the RCMA, the original no color powder. God, a bit of a panic because I went to check the camera and I had the storage is full alert, and so cut the cameras dead ass.
Cut the cameras. Dead ass.
I was worried about how much of that footage I had lost, but thankfully none of it. We're on our last step, which is, I know I've said that like 20 times now in this video.
Oh, all I'm saying is, when will it stop?
Give me a break. I don't know where my big fluffy brush has gone, so we're just gonna do in with this. There's not much anyway in terms of shine, but we're gonna be using this right here. Get into this no color RCMA loose powder. Really cheap as well. Can't remember how much. I will try and put it up. But just taking that and woo! What's on the brush there? And all we're gonna do is just along the bridge of the nose. Just here, you know, where you get a bit shiny. And just under the lip there. Now, I don't have any setting spray. I ran out. Normally I would use the Urban Decay All Nighter. Love it, love the smell of it, and it works. I really like the mattifying version that they have, but if I don't have any setting spray, something that I like to do anyway. Ugh, and the lighting just got so sexy. I've got two different sprays here. You would have seen this in my D-Drag skincare video. Be Cool Mist Toner. One is what I normally have in my bag. Look at how cute and little it is. Sukin Original Hydrating Mist Toner, Chamomile and Rose. This smells beautiful. Nice and calming. Not to mention empty. Love to carry this in my bag with me just because it's really like travel friendly. We're just gonna do a spritz of that instead. Not too much. Just enough to lock everything in, and also just to give a bit of life back to the skin. Okay dolls, so that is the finished makeup. quite natural, at least to me it is. I don't know what you guys think, but this is what I do every morning. Thank you guys for watching. That brings us to the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you learned something, had fun, and thanks for coming along with me. And I will see you next time. Bye. I'm currently editing and you can tell that I only had like 2 hours of sleep last night. What the fuck? Get me out of here. Also, I have to show you guys this because it's so cute. How cute is this? Something I'm guilty of is picking flowers in other people's gardens, and maybe it's getting a little out of control. Anyway, I'm gonna finish editing and good night. Yes, I drink my wine out of a goblet. Who the fuck are you?